Narcissistic people make no better parents than they do partners. Their personality, their belief system, it is who they are as a person. They change depending on who they are around, depending on who they want to impress. They don't change because they're a changed individual. Therefore, they display several toxic habits when it comes to parenting their children. Now, as a parent, we can all make no end of mistakes. We can all question our behaviour. However, that questioning of our own behaviour helps us reflect and change our behaviour and try to do better, even though inevitably we will usually make another mistake. Narcissistic individuals don't question their own behaviour, they question everybody else's. They don't see a problem with their behaviour, they see a problem with everybody else's. Therefore, they display several behaviours that have detrimental effects on their children. And one of the first of these is they will play favourites to provoke that jealousy and that insecurity, to create that resentment. Now, as parents, when you have several children, you can love them all dearly. You can love them all the same. However, you can be getting on with one more than another at any given moment in time. Doesn't mean you love the others any less. We're human. You can have a child that needs more support at that moment in time, and then the dynamics shift and it's another child that needs that support. It's in the intentions. It's not done to manipulate. With a narcissist, they will manipulate the situation to their advantage so that they can get the attention from the child and so that they can pit them off against each other and create that competition. They can be over the top, supporting and loving and caring out in public. Behind closed doors, they're incredibly critical and demeaning in private towards their child, which often leads to that sense of confusion and that sense of betrayal within the child, because they get sort of two parents, and when they're out with their parent, people tend to look up to them and admire them because the narcissist is impressing that stranger and telling them how loved they are. And when friends come over, they can either sit there ignorant and sulk, or they can be the life and the soul of the house. So everybody tells you what an amazing parent. As soon as your friends leave, they become their neglectful selves again. They're prioritizing the appearance. They're constantly trying to keep up with the neighbours. The outside of the house can look amazing. The inside is falling to pieces. This is what a narcissistic individual is like. The family to the outside world looks amazing, yet inside the home it's full of neglect and criticism. There's no support there. They show that conditional love. So they are very loving towards their child when they're getting their needs met by their child, making the child believe that they are loved by their parents. Yet when the narcissistic parent has no need for their child, they're neglectful. They drop the child like a hot potato, creating that confusion. So when a narcissist needs supply, they can pick their child up, they can take them out, they can treat them, they can spoil them. That child just has to say one wrong word and all of a sudden the narcissist falls silent on the child, ignores them, and it gets the child sort of fawning and walking on eggshells and doing all they can to please the narcissistic parent, just so they can temporarily feel the love when they are serving the parent. They're very neglectful. There's no emotional support. Anything that's too competitive with the narcissistic parent, unless it makes the narcissistic parent look good, they're going to sabotage, they're going to pull down, they're going, who do you think you are? What makes you think you're capable of that? You're stupid, you're ugly, you're dumb. They're going to invalidate the child at every given turn, and they're going to be very neglectful, creating those feelings of abandonment within their child. They condition their children under the guise of discipline. Now, when parents are disciplining their children, it's usually so their children don't hurt another person, so their children don't suffer in some way. And as harsh as it is, sometimes with parents, we have to let children learn from life experience because they're not willing to listen to us. However, with a narcissistic individual, they discipline their children when they're not living life on the narcissistic parents' terms. They ignore them, they criticise them, they belittle them. And then when they're living life on the narcissistic parents' terms, they shower them with that attention and affection and support. So they look to condition their children through the guise of discipline. And they expect that eternal praise and gratitude and recognition for any little thing they've ever done for their children. And they will cut off support, they will neglect their children if it's not given. They will turn around and say, after all I've done for you, they might turn around and say, I wish you'd never been born. They're looking to manipulate their children into living life on the narcissistic parents' terms. A narcissistic parent will happily abandon their child if their child is not meeting their needs, yet they will blame the child. They will blame the other parent. They will blame anybody other than themselves, because to a narcissistic individual, nothing is ever their fault. It's always somebody else's fault. Any toxic behaviours of a narcissistic parent that you notice, please do add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support of the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have several books out on Amazon: 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People If You Cannot Go No Contact, a Narcissists Handbook, which is the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, and how to create boundaries around those who have no respect for your boundaries. If you'd like to check those out, they'll be in the description also. Thank you very much for watching. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.